That is like a total psycho Sims move. Yeah, that's like one of the best stories I've ever heard.
Bad one. Take out the 04.
Right. Yeah, I had one bad. Yeah. How dare you take a shot at my Kentucky family like that? They have more than 14. Yo, what's up? That's right. That was a story about my grandfather,
Yes.
Sims, you're talking about there with him pulling his teeth out. Paulie Burmeister in the fold. What's up, dude? How are you
doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you. I got my vaccination the other day.
Oh, you did?
So I do want to tell people about that.
Where'd
I got
it
it
go?
Tuesday. Yep, got it done.
How'd it go? Did you feel okay afterwards?
I was miserable. It hit me hard.
Right?
Tuesday night, I was as sick as a dog, shivering, fever, chills to the point,
really got
muscle and pains and aches that I've never had so bad in my life.
How long did it last?
I went to work yesterday morning. I was miserable coming to work yesterday morning. I did that. I went home. I had to do another radio thing, whatever, did all that. Took a nap. Ended up falling asleep for 4 hours.
Nice.
And I woke up and I went, okay, I feel pretty good. You know, not 100%. I woke up this morning. I was like, all right, I'm close to 100%. Maybe a little groggy still, but I think, out of the woods here. So that's good.
Wow.
I know.
It happened to me a little bit on my second one.
Right. That's
had
what people
say.
say.
A few hours. Like,
yeah.
oh, man, here it comes.
Right.
Wasn't as severe as what you had. Wasn't as long either.
No, I decided to do the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Okay.
So it's just the one
you did it
shot
once. You're
too,
done.
right? So I'm done. But, maybe, I don't know if there's more of it in that one dose or whatever.
Man, oh,
Either
man.
way, but it killed me. I'm glad I'm done with it though.
Yeah.
And now I can, freely wear a mask here and live free again. That'll be cool.
It does feel nice. And it
does.
comes at a very good time for you because this is it. This is literally
it,
like
baby.
the day before summer vacation for you. Little hiatus from the pod.
Right.
From hanging out with Mike.
It's not the day before the summer vacation. It's the day of
This
the
is
start.
the day.
Because when we get out of here, I'm going to go home and I don't know what I'll do for a few hours. But
Nap again.
Well, I might take a nap again. But after that, Matt Casey, producer,
Yep.
right?
Hosting a
PFT
little
does
shindig.
this. He's having a little shindig tonight. And I'm gonna have fun.
Yes.
So the party starts tonight, as far as I'm concerned.
That could be the real pod.
We would
Yeah.
have a real good pod tonight. You're right.
I was thinking about your moment here today,
Right.
and I always love comparisons. So go back to being a kid, last day of school before summer.
Yeah.
Go back to Texas, last day of spring ball. Spring
Right.
game is always kind of a similar, awesome kind of feeling. And kind of what you're feeling right now today. What's best?
It's close, but nothing beats that young kid. School's over.
Yeah.
To me, that's just like, come on. School was torture when you were a young kid.
Yeah.
You couldn't wait for the summer. Spring football,
Not
that
to
stuff.
be overlooked. That was an awesome day.
It was an awesome day because it was brutal. You knew, like, oh, wow, now we're going to have like a month where I can kind of be a normal college student and not have to worry about grinding out football every day. But I'll say I think this trumps that.
Oh, wow.
I will, yeah. It's a long year. It was a long year this year, especially with COVID. I don't know what it is. It just wore me out. But like in my business, again, I'm not complaining about our job. It's awesome. I love it.
True.
It's football. I talk. I mean, it's great. But I think the thing that wears on me, and you've heard me say this, is just constantly having to stay on all the news, have an answer for everything. Oh, wait, this player's doing this player's doing that. Wait, let me turn on a little film just to get a good feel for it so I'm not speaking blindly about the guy. It's just having to be on top of everything that wears your ass out.
Yeah.
So now I can check out for a little while, and that's what I'm excited for.
Part of what might wear you out, we're going to take advantage of here today.
Yeah.
We are strictly gonna react. You're going to react to many, many questions that we get socially about your top 40 list.
Sure.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, Chris, just from being like hanging out close to you, my Twitter inbox, like my notifications are on 20 plus every 5 minutes because the last 24 hours, people have so many things they want to say to you, maybe about you.
Well, I don't know if that's a good thing
40.
or a bad thing for you and your Twitter, but
I think it's a good thing for our podcast.
Well, hopefully. And again, listen, I know not, what I don't understand, I understand not everybody agreeing with my rankings and that. I don't expect everybody to agree with it. But what I don't understand is just the hatred behind it. It's
incredible, isn't it?
I want to be like, well, you're showing more hatred because this quarterback was 8 and this quarterback was 10 than you're showing about world issues. Like, we're losing a rainforest. You don't care. Like, that's where I just go, that makes no sense, and you're demented in the head.
Yeah.
That's really where that's where I don't get it. I love the feedback. I love the questions. I don't think I'm totally right, but like I've always said, I've been around it. I work hard at it, and hey, the thing that always gives me confidence to fight through these things is I have a lot of people in the NFL who reach out to me and say they love the list.
Matters a lot.
Or gives me respect for what I say or do, and that kind of pushes me through the haters on the social media aspect or front there.
It's a nice thing about being an adult. We get to have perspective,
right.
and when there's good and bad, you can focus a little more on the good, especially when the good is coming from people who matter a lot to you.
It does. It makes you fight through those annoying Twitter mentions.
Hopefully the Twitter things that we get to here won't be too annoying.
Yeah.
I think they are much more on the interesting and intriguing side. Pete D did a nice job of picking out all these questions. Before we get to all the Ask Me Anything questions, let's start out with a peek at your top 40 countdown now that it's done. And I'd like to ask you to kind of break them into tiers. I mean, we did them by groups of 4 or 5, or 4 and 5 throughout the last couple of months.
Right.
If you yourself could have like lines of demarcation where there's a real difference or a gap in talent, where would those numbers show up?
Sure. I think the first one I would go is like 1 through 5. That to me is the first tier. 1 through 5 would be the first tier where I go, these guys are like as close to perfect as you can get. Like, there's really not really we're being nitpicky with any of the flaws in their game. Okay, so that would be the first tier. I would say the next tier for me is actually the 6 to 9 tier. I would say that's a true second tier there of guys that, there's 1 or 2 things in their game I'd like to see them clean up or get better at, but man, they're still awesome and can do some unbelievable stuff on the football field. And then I get into the tier there, we're starting with Brady, where, man, 10 through 17, I'm going to put 10 through 17. I'm going to put Burrow in this group too, and I know he's got the knee issue there where, these are phenomenal football players. I mean, it's really, really good. It's actually not about, like, I don't have a lot of questions. It's actually about I want them to do more. This is the group of, hey, you're awesome. You could do a little more off schedule, or you could do this. Maybe Brady can't because of his age or whatever. He's kind of his own entity to a degree, for what he is in the situation. But I think through 10 through 17 is like, man, really good. You got potential to be in the top 10, but there is truly a 1 or 2 things we need to see a little better or just a little more of.
I just need to point out that you have the line of demarcation between the quarterback of America's team and the Super Bowl winning quarterback.
I know. Well, I know that. Well, I know it's not a coincidence, but I know that's what everybody's going to look at because now they're going to go, oh, you're slighting Brady again. Yeah. No, I put Brady on the outside looking in there because like 6 through 9 to me are guys that are special talent who, yes, can run the offense, but what some of the other guys below them don't have unbelievable off-schedule, I can make something happen abilities that next tier does not all have, everybody there. And I'm going to put Brady into that list there. Then you get to the, let's say, the 4th tier. And here is where I'll go to, like, I think it's like 18.
So that's Carson Wentz.
Yes, Carson Wentz at 18, all the way to 26 with Daniel Jones to go, no, there's good. There's real legitimate questions that need to be answered. Like, we're not sure. There's definitely a not sure aspect about this little group 4 tier right there, where you just go, ooh, I've seen things I like, but there's definitely something he's got to clean up or get better at. Or, not be as, loose with the football, whatever that may be.
Ben
they
Roethlisberger,
all have their issues.
Big Ben in that group. I know a lot of reaction about having Ben at 22.
Right, I know. Yeah. But, yes, he's in that group, too. I mean, come on. You can't be sitting here realistically talking to me like you think Big Ben's play was special the last 6, 7, 8 weeks of the year. Absolutely not. Yeah, we definitely have to see more. Better decision-makings, better throwing, different aggressive approach. So there's questions all through that group, I think. And that's why it stops at Daniel Jones. And then, the rookies are always hard because, of course, you have nothing there to speak of. So, like, I want to say, but really after that, I think that might be the last of the tiers. I might just go all together
Everybody
here.
together from 27 to 40.
Yeah, you got the last tier of that fifth. Am I on the fifth tier now? Right? Is that the fifth one or
It's
the
the
sixth
fifth one,
Yeah,
yeah.
the fifth one where you just go. No, you got some proving to do to me.
And that's the numbers there, Chris. At 27 down to 40.
Down to 7.
5 rookies.
Right.
You have 5 rookies in
right.
there.
5 rookies,
Plus
a Tua,
plus Drew Lock.
a Jared Goff. Right. There's a lot of guys
Pardon
where
me,
you go.
you had 6 rookies. I'm sorry, you had
6
6.
rookies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that to me, that last, let's say 14 guys are all of like, questions, got to prove it to me. You're not there yet. So I guess that's my 5 tiers: 1 through 5, 6 through 9, 10 through 17, 18 to 26. And then that last tier here where it's a lot of what ifs and we'll see potential and everything like that.
Let's back up and go to the top. I think I heard you say that 1 through 5, and that was your first tier.
Yeah.
Really kind of all in that same group. Are you saying anybody 1 through 5, Mahomes, Allen, Rodgers, Watson, Wilson, could be number 1 next year?
All of those guys have the ability to be number 1. Yes. I don't envision anybody taking over Mahomes here anytime soon.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the biggest threat is the guy I have number 2. I mean, to me, that's the guy. I don't think Rodgers at, what is he going to be, 37 this year or 38? I think 38. I might be even wrong. Where I want to go, he's not going to get better. He still can play at an awesome high level.
He got better last year from
He
the year
got
before.
better, yes. Within the system, second year, all of that definitely changes approach. But, like, there's nothing physically 38 in December he'll be. But it's like there's nothing physically I look at and go, well, he's got to get that better.
Right.
Or is it going to get better? No, he's not going to get faster. His arm's not going to get any stronger. He can change his approach, maybe the way he wants to read a coverage, things like that. Mahomes and Allen are 1 and 2 and still have things they can fix about their game. They're not at the mental level Rodgers is pre and post snap.
What did your friends in the league say about you having Allen number 2?
Oh,
Was it mixed? Was it?
I got like a lot of surprise positive reactions with Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say this. The first few people I told I was going to do that with, and I've told you a little, this is my dad and a few other coaches that I'm not going to name names here, and one personnel guy where, they like hemmed and hawed for a second, but then went, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Allen's amazing. What he did last year was unreal. And that's where I came back to. Again, this is where I think with Allen and Rodgers, my dad really fought me the hardest. I think I'd put Rodgers second. And then I kind of explained to him. And then he went, you know what? You're right, Christopher. I think Allen surpassed him.
What was your money selling point that changed his mind?
My money selling point is that I don't think Aaron Rodgers, if you put him on the Buffalo Bills last year, could have gone 13-3 and made some of those plays we saw him make without a running game, without a decent pass protection. All right, I just had this conversation with Dan Patrick. That's where it's like people got to realize Green Bay is a better support system than Josh Allen has, in my opinion. At least I don't know if you agree with that.
Offensively?
But I will say that. I mean, he's got Aaron Jones. I think they've cheated Aaron Rodgers here. So this
Correct.
is
Right.
my 2-man crushes who I feel like the teams could help them out. But Rodgers has the better offensive line, has Aaron Jones. I'll give Diggs the slight advantage on Devontae Adams. But then after that, you get into it. I mean,
The supporting receivers around, yeah.
Valdez Scantling, to Cole Beasley. I know they have Emmanuel Sanders now. But there's a reason Emmanuel Sanders is on his 3rd team in 3 years. He's not the guy that was 5 years ago, Emmanuel Sanders. It's coming to an end.
Right.
So don't go oh, they got Emmanuel Sanders. He's going to be the greatest show on turf now. No. Dawson Knotts, Robert Tonyan. It's close. It's close. That's all I'm saying. It's
similar.
close.
It
It's
is
very
similar.
similar.
Yeah.
It's very similar. So, but that's where I look at it. And I would say Rodgers' defense was better than Buffalo. It was. I mean, it statistically was.
Yeah.
So that's where you get into it and you start to realize, damn, man, I mean, yeah, he didn't have the luxury to go, here, Aaron Jones, get 5 yards. And it was always Josh Allen shotgun, make it happen.
Right.
And, again, Allen is not as surgical and as great with the decision making, but it's not so far less than that his great ability to extend plays and make unbelievable plays in the pocket and outside of the pocket, overcome the little deficiency he might not be up to Rodgers within that one area. And that's really where I gave it to him.
I think the initial surprise, whether it's a fan or someone personnel-wise may have to Allen being that high.
Right.
You can get past it with oh man, he was unbelievably improved last year. Yeah, they did win more than almost every other team. His completion percentage was great. His physical potential is still going way up. So I think the initial, that's not right,
I know,
can get turned around 30 seconds or 5 minutes later when you really break it down into categories, and he does check a lot of boxes.
He does. And if we're going right now. I think the hardest thing is people have a hard time wiping away the 8 years previous or the 10 years previous. Like where I go, I know Rodgers beats him in that conversation, but for what I saw last year, and yes, expecting that player to get better, and the other player to not really get better, maybe just plateau, or maybe even get a hair less or worse, that's where I play that angle. I mean, again, I don't turn on film and go, man, Josh Allen, he took a 5-step drop. The first read was open. Oh, man, he's looking to just play backyard football. No, if the first read's open, he throws it. If the first read's not open, he goes to the second read and throws it. He plays the position exactly how you want to, except when things don't go the way they are supposed to, people don't get blocked, everybody gets covered. That's to me where right now Mahomes and Allen are doing things Rodgers was doing 5 and 6 years ago, when I was telling everybody, no, Rodgers is the best quarterback in football. And nobody could believe it then. People were still trying to tell me, Peyton Manning at 54 years old and Brady were better than him. And I'm like, no, they're not. Sorry. It's just you got to get over it. And it's the same thing here. Let's not hold on to it too long. This guy's here. He's arrived. He's special. And Paul, we talk about the decision making and all that. This is the part I love. I mean, first off, I would argue with Allen here, other than Lamar and Kyler Murray, it's the third best running quarterback in football. Yeah. He's in that discussion. He's a legit between the tackles runner. He's the second best scrambler in the sport, other than Mahomes. And when I say scrambler, I mean the guy that's behind the line of scrimmage, buying time, looking to throw the ball. Only Mahomes is a better scrambler to me than him right now. I think Watson and Russell Wilson in that discussion too. So you look at it from that aspect. He gets this, he's careless with the football. He's careless with the football.
Wasn't last year.
No, and even the year before, it was 20-9.
Yeah.
It wasn't. That's where everybody's going to get off of these Wyoming narratives that they all held on to. Break the narratives. Self-scout yourself a little bit. So that's where nobody's rushed for more touchdowns in the NFL at the quarterback position since 2018.
I think outside of Lamar Jackson, I don't know another quarterback that has more called running plays. He's a great scrambler.
That's what I mean.
But it's built into the offense.
They do it. They had to dial it back a little last year because this psycho will take on middle linebackers and lower his shoulder, and he's not going to last. So you take into the most rushing touchdowns since 2018, right? Red zone. Here's another stat that you'll love. 42 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's careless with the ball. Yeah, he hasn't thrown an interception. Yeah. Right. He went through some streaks last year of 166 pass attempts with no interceptions. I mean, he has some things where you go, wait, you're seeing it and you're going, wow. The numbers say wow, but you still want to hold on to a narrative you heard 4 years ago and you're not going to let it go. Come on. That's where I push myself to get over that stuff all the time.
Right. Yep.
I really do. And to me, that's what's amazing about Josh Allen right now. There was one more stat. I just want to make sure I didn't miss it because it jumps out to me. But I think that's it. No, that was it. Yeah, that's it.
That was a very good sell job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Even without that one that remains out there.
No, I think I got them all.
We'll have to get to it next fall. This is the last one. Well, that was a good warm up for the Ask Me Anything. Okay, number 40 is where we're going to start. Case Keenum hypotheticals.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
right.
You ready for this category?
Yeah.
At Leedale UK, love the pod, guys. No sign of crabs on the loose in West London. That must have come up with Ahmed. I'm
with
not
our
sure
snap
what that
count
is.
thing. It was our snap. Somebody sent in a snap count, and he was kind of doing blue 45, and he went crab on the loose, and then went with it from there. Yeah.
So that's not happening in West London, but we'll keep looking. Your quarterback ranking was based on being on an average team. Reversing that, which team wins the Super Bowl if everyone had Case Keenum at quarterback?
It's a brilliant question. Brilliant.
That's well thought out.
It really is. It really is. Woo, man. Okay. Tampa still comes to mind here. I mean, Tampa's roster is packed.
The two teams that were in the Super Bowl last year come to mind.
Well, they do, but I don't know if I can say that with Kansas City.
No?
I don't know if Case Keenum can run that offense and do what they're
Still
asking
Andy
him to
Reid
do.
calling the plays. You still have Kelsey. You still have Hill.
Still helps. It still helps, but I don't know. There's still so many moments during the year where you just go, the game plan's not that great.
Right.
You know, it's
a lot of Mahomes.
It's
Okay.
a lot of this guy.
I'll give you the Bucs then.
Right.
We'll throw out the Chiefs.
So
who would be my second
the Chiefs,
team?
let's just throw them off to the
Okay.
side for now. Not throw them out totally.
Who would be your second team?
Okay, I think we can get into, you go to complete rosters when you get in this conversation for me. So right away, the teams that jumped out to me were Tampa, New Orleans, right? We've seen them survive with 3 different quarterbacks the last 3 years, right? Cleveland Browns.
I was just thinking them. I was
Cleveland's-
wondering if they'd even come up.
No, I think so. With their roster and everything about it, like, I mean, if it was Case Keenum, with that team and everybody has Case Keenum, I'm going to give them a little bit of advantage because the roster's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to probably throw Baltimore in that conversation.
Really? Lamar plays it so much differently than Case.
I know. What I would want to, the only thing that scares me about that, because I think the team and they can run the ball and do that stuff, the drop back pass offense scares me a little. Like Case needs some help there.
Yeah.
So that is where I'm hesitant with Baltimore, but I throw that out there.
It's a lot of reps for Case Keenum. He's playing every down for every team.
Every team. Yeah, it really to me comes down to the best constructed rosters.
Okay. Doesn't have to be a long list.
No, and I think I think that's the ones that jump out to Tampa, New Orleans, Baltimore, Cleveland. I think San Francisco probably would have been in that mix if minus injuries, right? Like Shanahan's going to be able to coach him up, and you're still going to go, he's better than some of those other stooges they've had playing quarterback out there. So I'd go, okay. That might be one I'd throw out there too.
That's a good one.
And the Rams and Colts might be another team that I'd throw in there.
Wow.
Both those. So what did we say, 6 teams basically?
Yeah. Nice late addition there with the Rams and the Niners.
Thank you.
So who wins? Who wins it?
I'm going to go New Orleans.
Nice.
Yeah. I think it's New Orleans or Tampa.
Proven
honestly.
history of winning with
Proven
different
history,
quarterbacks.
I think, yeah. And then Sean Payton will be able to figure it out with what works for Case Keenum, and they don't have to go all in on the quarterback there because they're a run team and they play defense.
One more Case Keenum
that's a good
hypothetical
question.
because it's such a good category.
Yeah.
At Alex Sim says, who would win? Your number 1 quarterback Mahomes with the worst current team, or your number 40 Case Keenum with the best current team?
Oh yeah, no, I think it's still Case Keenum.
Yeah,
it is. It's a team
not really
sport.
even a tough call.
Well, it's not right. I mean, again, we got Deshaun Watson, who was 4-12 last year. I won't talk to anybody in football that would have Deshaun Watson farther down the list than 6 or 7.
Yeah,
right. I have him at 4. Nobody. I don't care who you talk to. Nobody's going to say he's worse than 6 or 7. I would have a hard time thinking you can even put him that low. They went 4-12. There's only so much you can overcome. Again, there was 3 games he put them in a position there last year to win the game. The team failed him.
Yeah.
He didn't fail the
Big
team.
time.
And that's why, yes, I'd still go with Keenum on the best team over Mahomes and a horrible team.
This category is Sims Top 50 Quarterback Countdown with a question on the end.
Yeah.
Ron Burgundy style to see if that would actually happen. Let's take a look at your list 40 through 21. This question from Jonathan Wise. After you finish releasing the top 4, you should do 41 through 50. I'd be interested to see the order you have your fringe starters and backups in. Side note, aside from Jalen Hurts, who else was on the cusp of making the top 40?
Yeah, no, sure. I think, here's the names that, digging up some old notes here, some of my earlier ones. I mean, Jalen Hurts, Minshew, Nick Foles, and Trubisky are the top 4 that were left off the list. Those are the next 4 where I went, oh no, they could legitimately be on this list, and reasonable minds might think they should deserve to be on it, and you take a rookie off or something like that.
Sure.
So I think those are the 4 that I would say really jump out to me. Jacoby Brissett was close to also, but I think there was a notch between the 4 I just mentioned and then him. So I would say those would be really probably the next 5 that jump out to me more than others.
Let's say you removed your 6th rookie because you had a bunch of those rookies there at the end and plugged in one guy who didn't make it. Who would that first one be?
I think I'm between Minshew and Hurts.
Okay.
I think it's between one of those two. I would probably give the advantage to Hurts. I really would. Just because of the force of nature he is running the football, I would give him that little advantage to go, okay, he's got that. That's a real thing. That he can bring to the team a schematical advantage over a Gardner Minshew. So, yeah, I would probably say Jalen Hurts is that guy.
This person gets their question. I think it's a pretty good question, but their handle is all time.
Joe Flacco wasn't far off that list either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, he could have been after the Brissett thing. I think you could have put Flacco in that conversation, not too far there. Yeah, I think he deserves that.
This is from Cats with Knives, Chris.
Cats with Knives.
Cats with Knives.
Man, well, if you don't take the claws out of your cats, they all got knives.
You have cats, right?
I do. 2 of them. No.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you live in the house?
Just when they're young, you gotta let them know what they can and can't do. So like I might have had like a rolled up magazine, something, right?
Yeah.
Magazine, and if I saw it start to claw at the couch or something, I would just swack just real lightly, like hit his paws. No, and they would learn in a hurry.
They respond to that,
and they'll respond to that.
Wow.
I know. Cat animal whisperer over here.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cats with Knives.
Yes.
Try not to be a homer here, but if Hurts isn't on this list and top 20 next year, I'll buy you an airport cheeseburger.
I like it.
Is there an airport cheeseburger thing that I missed?
Well, I dropped the airport cheeseburger on the floor and ate it. And
it's very fair. For how
LaGuardia.
long was it down? At LaGuardia, at the old or the newer?
LaGuardia. It's not fair.
Because it's much better than it was.
I was in a rush to go to the combine.
Yeah.
I was there. Somebody backed into me and knocked a thing out of my hand.
Yeah.
It had paper around it, but it was like half open.
Yeah.
It didn't look like the burger actually touched the ground, and because I was in a rush, I just said, screw it.
Yeah.
2 nights later, I was throwing up in a toilet bowl.
Really?
Yeah, and I still think that was the reason.
LaGuardia, yeah.
So I don't know there.
Well, have you been there recently?
Yes.
In the last year, it's
well,
like
this was the new section. It was the new section.
Still the new section.
Well, it doesn't matter. People are still walking out of the bathroom with piss and shit particles on their feet. So sorry.
Cats
the bathroom
with
was
knives,
only
they did it to us. Yeah.
Yes, there's only the bathroom was only 50 feet from the food court. So yes, that's not a good thing.
Poor decision.
Yes, poor decision.
In the end, a poor decision
Yes.
by you. Thank you, Cats with Knives. Okay, biggest concern.
Jalen Hurts though, just what he wants them to be in the top 20. Is that what he's saying?
If he's in the top 20, airport cheeseburger that I'm going to assume was not dropped.
Yeah, thank you.
Like clean, just handed to you. He'll buy it.
I'm rooting for it. Again, I love Jalen Hurts and how he handles himself, the way he's handled himself this whole offseason. And trust me, I hope he plays well and proves me wrong. I really do. The human is easy to root for.
Hale's Real Football Talk. Which specific ranking are you most worried about between where a quarterback is now and where he could be at the end of the season?
Those are always the toughest ones, because like even last year.
I know the name.
Like last year I had Josh Allen at 18.
Was he 18 last year?
Yeah,
Wow.
like to start the year.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't put him much higher than that. I needed to see a little bit more. When we did the reassessment in Week 10, he ended up in the top 5 or 6 or right there. But I've had people come at me and go, you're an idiot. You had Allen at 18 last year. I'm not the oracle. I can't see the future. I mean... Pete is saying
having him in the top 20 was like it wasn't like drastic, but most people wouldn't have done it.
Some of my biggest backlash was you have him at 18. You're crazy. That's way too high. So that's where I get frustrated. Is people look back and then they go, "Well, and I want to go like, dude, I'm taking what's there to be had. I am making a little projection. I'm not going to make a guy move him up 30 spots just off a projection. Like that's not going to happen. So those are the guys I worry about. Like Burrow. They talk about him proving his pop in his arm. There's been a lot of talk about that lately. He's healthy. He's got the potential to be in the top 10
He's the first
or
name
7
that comes
or
to
8.
mind.
Well, he's certainly one of those guys that scares me to where that's the backlash I'll get. Halfway. You had him at 19. You're an idiot. Or you're 17. You're an idiot. And it's like, so those are always the ones I worry about. So what was the true question there? Just about the ones where I worry about where I'm wrong.
Yeah, it was which specific ranking are you most
Oh.
worried about where a quarterback is now and where he might end up next year?
All right. I mean, I feel like, that 18, 19, 20 spot where I have Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold, and Cam Newton is definitely a controversial spot. People think I'm way too high on all three of those guys.
Yeah, Cam especially. Just from what I saw.
Right. And then Sam, he's not done anything apparently, and he's just horrible, so that no one can see that. And I do worry about, does Cam have another year of this weird throwing thing? Then, I might look stupid. And if Sam doesn't show a little potential and upgrade here, that might not make me look real good either. And the same with Carson. I've been a defender of him. He's got no excuses in Indianapolis with that team around him here. Right. So those are ones I look at to go either way, where I could be also Carson Wentz has the potential to be a top 10.
Because he was two years ago.
That's what I mean. You could sit here again and go, that's where he worries me. He's going to go to the Colts. Right, I don't know where his mind's at and everything like that. I know he has the potential to be that top 10 guy. That's another one where people could call me out either way a year from now and go, "You're an idiot. You were too high. You were too low." So I guess that's the area that jumps out to me the most.
Josh Allen. We got a couple Josh Allen, but we've hit Josh pretty hard. So I'm just going to do one of these.
Yeah, sure.
This is from JA17 MVP_Bib. Do you agree with Jordan Palmer that Josh Allen is the most physically gifted quarterback of all time? Arm talent, size, mental strength, and speed.
I didn't know Jordan Palmer said that,
I didn't
but
either.
I think he's in that conversation. Yeah, it's the strongest arm
All time is like.
I know.
You saw Elway and Marino throw.
It's that type of talent. It is that type. Allen's arm is the strongest in the NFL right now. His arm is stronger than Mahomes. That's one thing and Mahomes, again, I'm not saying he's a better passer and thrower than Mahomes, but his arm, it's all-time strong. It's all-time. It's up there with the Rodgers, the Marinos, the Elways, any of that. The athleticism, it's right up there with the Elways and everything like that too. The only athleticism people he's not going to be up there with are the Lamars and the Kyler Murrays and Michael Vicks. Other than that, he's in the class with anybody else as far as a runner or a scrambler. So, that's where...
Most physically gifted all time, that's about 3 or 4 standard deviations more severe than you having him at 2. Like, as I said, you having a 2, you can look at and be like, you know what? That's not outlandish at all with the winning, the improvements, the physical gifts, all of it. But most physically gifted all time.
I know. I don't bat an eye. I think you would change your opinion if you saw him in person a little bit to go, whoa, I didn't realize he's this big and thick. You'd go, whoa, I didn't realize he's this fast. And I think And the arm thing, I mean, I know you see it on TV and all that, but it still surprises people when they see it in person.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. Like I think we heard that a number of times last year from teams that played Josh Allen and all that. And again, he's not saying he's the best quarterback of all time. He's just telling you the talent, the pure raw ability as good as anybody ever. And I can get behind that. I can.
I always have to point out when something like this is said or stated that he's not saying he's the best quarterback of all time.
Right.
Being the most physically gifted, he may not have him in his top 25 or top 50 of all time.
Right.
Who knows?
No, and he's still got to put it together and play and do everything the right way. But like his work ethic, his mental approach, it's all high-level stuff. That's where, again, I don't think anything speaks louder than the fact that he plays for a defensive coach, and that defensive coach saw enough in him and trusted him enough to go, hey, my defense, I need you to just be a baller. And I'm going to take the handcuffs, the leash off or whatever because I trust you. I see the work ethic and the talent that we're talking about. And that's how you breed greatness, because now he's giving greatness confidence, right? Like Mahomes had that with Andy Reid. And, at some point you need that quarterback to kind of just be like that coach that believes in the quarterback and go, you're awesome. Yep. I can see it. I believe in you. We're going to go all in. We might hit a few bumps in the road, but I know you got this in you. And I think, that says a lot to me that McDermott went to that point with Allen.
So Josh was number 2. Your number 3 quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Here's one question about Aaron. It's from @JasonBrownNTAF. Big fan, been listening since before the first list. Was Rodgers closer to Mahomes this year? Seems like Allen inserted himself into the mix while Rodgers also closed the gap.
So close between all three. I mean, you heard me say the Allen Rodgers thing, I went back and forth.
Was that the hardest one number difference?
I think it was there. I think Mahomes was number one in my mind pretty quickly.
That seemed easy for you.
It was. I put him number one to start before I even watched film or got into anything like digging into it. I just was like, okay, one, boom, Mahomes. And then I kind of started to go from there. You know.
What was the first name at 2? Was the first one Josh? Or
No,
was
it was Rodgers.
Yeah.
I wrote Rodgers first. Allen 3 at first, and then I kind of fumbled between Watson and Wilson. It was 4 and 5 a little bit there, but you know, I think with Rodgers, his only distinct advantage over guy like Mahomes right now is just a little bit of the knowledge aspect. You know, throwing wise, hey, are there some throws that maybe he's a little better than Mahomes at? Maybe. But Mahomes is just so gifted in so many other areas. And not, again, to say Rodgers has the advantage in some of the mental stuff, it's not like Mahomes is far behind. Again, as a guy, he makes a ton of right decisions. At times, can he be a hair too aggressive and leave a guy underneath where you go, like you don't need to throw that ball down there. This guy was open for an 8-yard gain. Let him catch it and run with it. Or do something like, yeah, it's not perfect yet, but you're going to have to live with that, some of that. So I guess what I'm saying is, no, I don't think it was – he was clearly one. He's clearly one.
Yeah.
The way he plays, the presence on the field, you know, the variety of throws, the decision making, you know, the escapability, the confidence in which he gives his team and everything like that. It's special.
Number 6, Lamar Jackson. Number 7, Kyler Murray. Prompted this question from @Caleb Baird. Hey, guys, love the pod. Happy Father's Day. Wondering why Lamar is ahead of Kyler. Lamar is slightly better as an open field runner, but I'd say Kyler's passing polish should put him over. They both had passing concepts, but the Ravens have far better talent overall.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It was. This is another one where I would say really after Allen Rodgers, I would say this was the one I was probably in the top 10 split hairs about the most. I believe I first wrote down Kyler Murray 6, Lamar 7.
What was the difference in the end?
I think the difference in the end is still, you know, the fact that Lamar and what he brings to the table as a runner, I think is still greater than Kyler Murray. There's a real schematical thing he brings to the team that way. And, you know, again, I guess I'm giving him a little advantage, too, of just what he's done. He's brought his team to the playoffs. He's played in playoff games. I haven't seen Kyler Murray necessarily deliver in some of the must-need win moments quite yet like I've seen Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Now, everyone's going to go, well, what about the playoff games? Well, he delivered in one of them this year, but he still did a lot of other big-time moments they needed him to deliver, and he delivered to help them win games, where I guess I'm giving him the advantage of that. And Kyler wasn't, you know, as awesome the last 6 and 7 weeks of the year as he was the first 10 weeks of the year. And I think we got to take that into account as well.
So this is an example here. It's not all just physical talent and potential. You did draw upon. I've seen Lamar do it when you're looking to break the tie. I've seen him go there. I've seen him play in big games.
Right.
And that mattered.
It mattered. And I gave a little bit of that leadership, toughness, what you do to your team to give them an edge and things like that. Lamar has a fire and a passion about him that he brings to the field, whether it's yelling at John Harbaugh on the sidelines, go for it, coach, yeah, let's go for it. And then he goes and runs for a touchdown and makes the coach look right like a genius.
Right.
Yeah, he has a real presence and toughness that he brings to the football team. And not to say Kyler Murray doesn't have that. I've seen it a little more from Lamar, you know, that way. And Lamar's passing is not as unpolished as people want to say it is.
Keep it right there, because
yeah.
Weed Hat 50, respect the DJ Screw shout out on the 12-9 pod. Where does Lamar need to improve his mechanics and accuracy?
Yeah, it's the mechanics are pretty good. You know, he is a little bit, you know, where we get into the Justin Fields thing with the elbow thing, right?
Yeah.
Lamar has a little of that, but it's a different way. It's not the same way. First off, Lamar keeps it there, like Michael Vick did. So there's less of a movement and motion to get it there for less things to go wrong. I'm fine with him that. To me, the biggest thing with Lamar can sometimes be his feet, a little bit. He can let his feet get a little too close together. But I think the last thing is he doesn't get his upper body involved in the throw enough. I'm going to grab the football here for anybody watching. He's got such a great flexible arm, and he can kind of stay just like in this position, right? That's Lamar Jackson. Michael Vick was this way too, and it just goes right here. It's clean and tight, and that's all good. But, there are times, especially sometimes on a deep ball, like the deep ball that jumps out to me more than any, there's a throw. Somebody go back and watch it if you want, against the Tennessee Titans in the regular season game. He throws a little post corner deep down the field. The guy's open. He throws a duck, and it gets intercepted because he kind of locks that shoulder in and just throws it with his arm and lets it do it that way. And that can lend to when you just throw all arm, the ball's not always going to come out perfectly the way you want it. That's why people have mechanics to, let me do a body throw and let my arm be the reaction instead of the main focal point. And to me, that would probably be the biggest thing. So he can be here, Kristen, if you can go to my ISO again, he could be here and nothing moves or does that. And if he could just do that a little bit more. And I'll tell you where he does it amazing and is his best throws, and I would love to talk to him about this one day, because if he has anything over the middle of the field, 10, 15 yards, 5 yards or whatever, he's gotten into this, drops his arm and does that. And you know why he does it? For my money, why he does it is because he's getting the rotation of his body involved when you drop your arm. And it feels comfortable slotting it out from there. He's had no one help him from doing it from the traditional standpoint of learning how to get that shoulder movement and do that and do it that way. It's safer. It feels more comfortable to dip down and throw that ball that way. He probably feels like he has a better control because he's using his body a little bit more, even though it looks like he's dropped to 3/4 or a side arm.
He's also a lot less likely to lose it because in his normal way he flicks it.
It's a little bit flicky, exactly.
He can lose it up top here.
Definitely, because it becomes all hinged at that elbow. And, just before the Twitter universe and everybody starts hating on me and go, well, you said that Justin Fields is like a drastic go up to that, and he lets his arm get out here like this. That does not happen with Lamar. It stays here, and it's there, and it's locked up there. So it's not as much of a moving, what do I want to say? Not as much movement in the delivery and before the delivery.
Number 5 quarterback was Russell Wilson at Mehmet305. He's been on the show a lot. Do you think Shane Waldron, new offensive coordinator for the Rams, can help Russell Wilson become a more complete quarterback? It looks like he can still be a better pocket passer, and his awareness can get better. This is tough to if you're going to improve Wilson, because he's had long stretches throughout his career where he's looked like not just a top 5, but a top 2 or 3.
Yeah. I mean, he's still worthy of that conversation and that kind of guy. Yeah, I think that this offense can, untap some potential for Russell Wilson. Because I think the big thing I'll talk about, and you've heard me say this phrase, I've said it a lot with Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers through the year. They don't even know what they don't know. They don't know. Here, I'm telling you, Russell Wilson's going to have, and you've already heard this. If you look at the transcripts of what the Seahawks receivers have said and Russell Wilson have said, they're kind of blown away by the offense because there's answers for everything. There's rules for everything. And they've been a little bit like, this is the play. Oh, they played that defense? This is the play. So we've told you what to do. Shane Waldron's going to go, oh, wait, no, if they play that defense, check out and do this. Oh, wait, no, they're playing that defense. Receiver, you have to stop. You're not going to run the corner route now. Now you're going to run a 20-yard curl route. So there's all this that's going on. And to me, it is going to make Russell a better quarterback and a better player. I would be shocked if not, because now he's going to have real confidence, answers, and things like that, to where when he does drop back, he's going to be like, the coaching is going to paint the picture for him a little bit, to where he's going to wait. Coach said this guy would be right here. Just read him. Okay, he went that way. I throw to this guy. And I think it's going to make life easier on him ultimately. Might have a little more thinking in training camp and preseason because of the new rules and all that, but it's going to make the field more open when the real games start.
Yeah. Pete is producing this list because the question about number 14 quarterback Derek Carr is tied in to Russell Wilson from at MSmudge 1984. Would a 2022 trade of Wilson to the Raiders and Carr to Seattle, plus whatever draft capital is needed, be acceptable to the Seahawks? If you're the Seahawks, would you prefer more draft picks rather than Carr? Would he suit their offensive scheme?
Yeah, he could definitely play that scheme. Derek Carr's plenty athletic enough to be the boots, play action guy. He's a better athlete than Jared Goff, just at a base standpoint right there, just to make that base. So if we saw Goff can do it, Derek Carr can do it. I think, listen, hypotheticals here, if they were going to make that trade, yes, I would think the Seahawks would want Derek Carr and go, yeah, we'll take Derek Carr, but you got to give us some draft picks too. I mean, we're definitely trading away a top 5 quarterback for a guy that's, edge of the top 10. Our fan base certainly isn't going to just go, oh, yeah, we're swapping Carr for Wilson. No problem. Sounds good.
Yeah.
No, there's going to have to be some other assets involved in that.
Because even though Derek Carr's a nice quarterback,
he's a really good quarterback.
It's a step down.
It's a step down. I mean, his own brother said so.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have been inadvertently, he might have said so. But
accidentally.
Yes. But yeah, I look at it, that it's where it's just, again, it's funny though with the quarterback thing and all of that. Like, hey, listen, the Raiders, if they got Russell Wilson, I don't look at them and go, oh gosh, they're a Super Bowl team
they're
now.
great.
No, that's where we all got to get over that aspect. It's not about the one guy. It's not. It's more to it than that. So. Yeah, I would think you have to get some assets along with it.
Baker Mayfield was 13. This question from Adi M27. Hey, Sims, love the pod. Thoughts on the Baker Mayfield extension talks? Feels like he's in the same conversation that was had about Dak, how he deserves his money but not market-setting money. I think he's worth whatever they got to pay him.
He is. You got a good quarterback. It's about where they believe he is right now and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'm in the camp of listen, you got one that's good. I've seen enough to know he's got the real talent. I know he loves football. I know people in Cleveland. I know some of the players there. He does everything the right way. So if you believe you got a guy and you believe he's talented, then just pay him and get it done with now and get it for the low.
Right.
Maybe they want to see just a little bit more evidence because it's, we had that hiccup in year 2 with Freddie Kitchens and everything like that.
Yeah.
But, man, they should know what he is by now.
Yeah.
To me, Lamar, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, I don't really have any questions about them anymore. It's just about, how good is Baker going to get?
Right.
How long is Josh Allen going to stay in the top 5? How awesome is Lamar going to be for this long? I mean,
you don't get to wait for Cleveland. Maybe they do. Maybe it happens this year. But you don't get to wait for a good quarterback on a good team to take that next step before you pay him that money. A lot of times you just have to say, seen enough. Going to swallow hard. I'm pretty sure he can go from top 15 to top 10, and we can go from 9 or 10 wins to 13 or 14 wins, and then you just got to do it. He has earned that leap of faith, which it is. He might not become that quarterback, but he's shown enough, I think, to get that benefit of the doubt. And every owner's got to swallow hard. And unless it's a top 5 quarterback, those guys from 6 through 15, it's you're going to stay up at night and wonder. But I think he's earned it.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, got talent, has a presence on the field and off the field in the locker room, showed maturity on and off the field this year. Know he loves the sport and work ethic. What else do you want more at quarterback? Who are you going to get if you give him away?
What's your alternative?
Yeah.
If you don't pay him market value,
right.
What's your other option?
Exactly right. So that's where, is it a little bit of the leap of faith? Okay, yeah, everything is to a degree.
Yep.
But what I would say is, no, get it done. Maybe get them a little for the low right now for 3 years down the line where you go, well, look, we're only paying them this now. 3 years from now, who knows where the market will be.
Right.
And also, you want to make it work just like we talk about with anything. Okay, you've invested in him. Make sure he's got support around him to continue to, show the value of your investment. That's where you can't mess up either. And I think if you do those things and you're sold on, talent, work ethic, leadership, all those type of things, get it done. And that's where I'm with you on that one.
Consider all the excitement in Cleveland right now because of the winning they've been doing. The relationship with Baker Mayfield, Kevin Stefanski has a lot to do with it.
I'd be scared.
Right?
Well, because I'd be scared to go, wait, our team is really good.
Yes.
We could go 13-3, and he could be the MVP of football.
14-3.
14-3.
13-4.
It's the first time I've done that in a while. We could be the MVP. He could be.
Yep.
He could be that guy.
Yes.
Listen, they go 14-3, and he's towards the top of football and touchdowns and quarterback rating and all of that. He's going to be in the MVP conversation. And then he's going to go, I want to be the highest paid quarterback in football. So why not get it done now and get all that conversation and bullshit out of the way?
This question has to do with your 12th ranked quarterback, Ryan Tannehill from Orion Chuzzlewit. Hey, guys. We're seeing the Titan-style, run-heavy, deep shot off play-action offense spread like wildfire throughout the NFL.
Yes.
If you were a D coordinator this offseason, how would you set up to counter this, similar to how we now have, quote, Seattle beaters on the other side of the ball?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah.
It's real. I mean, really, I think, I know we've hit on this. Other than the Cardinals, the Bills, and the Chiefs, right? Those are the three teams I look at to go, like, they don't really – the Bills do play action, and it still was effective. That's what's crazy. But, yes, that has become the league MO. I mean, I'm sitting here just looking at the top offenses in football. I mean, gosh, out of the top 12, I mean, all of them have that run, play action. That's what we do. I think this is why you're going to continue to see corners drafted high in the draft because, wait, we can't defend it all. Let's bring a safety down. We'll trust J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain to cover, A.J. Brown deep down the field and do that. There's going to be that aspect. I also think the other combative thing that I think we'll have to see, you've heard me say this, I think this is the next thing we're going to see on defense. Big up front. Yeah, I think you heard me say this a little last year. Big up front, hey, front four, or hey, we played a bare front and have 5 people. You guys worry about the run. Second-level linebackers, I want the first 2 steps to be pass. Even if you see play action, I want it to be, let me take a step back before you run up to the hill and do something like that. I think there's going to have to be some thought of that, especially with a team like let's just say Buffalo, who did good on play action. I would be telling them, especially if you're playing them, make them show me run the football first.
Yeah.
When they run the ball for 10 yards a few times on us, then okay, fill the gaps and do that. Until then, they have Josh Allen and they just want to throw a play action pass.
Right.
They want to throw it deep. Go back first. We'll worry about their shitty run game with Devin Singletary and all that second. Right. And but I think those are a few thoughts that come to my head along shut down corners, bigger up front, not so run aggressive second level linebackers.
So that answer, which was a good one, was a lot more about personnel than it was about scheme. And there's a ripple effect. So corners who can cover, lots of them.
Right.
Big defensive linemen.
Yes.
And I'm going to add on what I think you're saying too, then also safety-like linebackers. Not the big, giant run-stuffing linebacker, but a guy who can play safety as well. If his first 2 steps are back, he's playing the pass.
I'm Isaiah Simmons. I took a wrong step up, but I'm still fast enough to get back. I think you're right about that.
Yeah, Devin White, guys like
that
this.
Kind of guy, exactly. He took a wrong step into the hole. Oh, but shit, it doesn't matter. He's so fucking fast. He got back to take away the play-action pass over the middle.
More personnel than scheme to deal with that.
I think so. More personnel. And then where we'll go into the scheme thing, too, again, if you get the big people up front, Tampa had this luxury.
Yeah, they did.
This is what they could do, what? Big people up front, we're immovable up there. Vita Vea, Sue, JPP, our 290-pound defensive end, and then Shaq Barrett, who's 265, 270. But either way, they'd go, we're going to play 2 deep. We're going to play 2 deep coverage. Go ahead, try to run the ball. I think that's what you're going to continue to see, too. That's where I said the big defensive line thing can come into play. Well, we're big up front. We won't have to put the extra guy into down in the box to do that. We could play a safe coverage on the back end and still one up front. That's how Tampa beat Green Bay, who likes to be a balanced football team.
Yeah.
A lot of the times they just said, well, show us you can really run the ball with Aaron Jones on our defensive front. Let's see. Oh, and then maybe we'll bring a safety down in the box then. That never happened. So they just kept being able to play 2 deep on Rodgers and them all game long.
Sam Darnold showing up at 19, being in the top 20. Brought out a lot of opinions from people.
I told you this was a big spot.
Yeah, I know. There's only one Sam question.
All right.
At Jacob Nason 3, I don't understand how Darnold moved up on your list. He missed more games due to injury, and he played awful. How does that move him up?
He didn't play awful. He did not play awful. The team was awful. Did he make some mistakes here and there? There's no doubt. Anybody would have looked pretty awful and with some of that team and what he had around him. So again, don't put all the team stuff on one guy. And he's not, he's not a top 5 quarterback and can't do it all himself. He needs to play, be on a team that can keep him healthy because they can protect him or run the ball or do anything like that. But again, I just think it's between what I saw last year, take into account what I even saw a little the year before, everything like that. There's too many high-level skills for me to have him much lower than that.
Pete, tell me one more time what you just said. You don't start this list with last year's list, or do you?
Well, no. It's not about that. It's just like I've seen enough from even 2 years ago and last year, even though he didn't play the full year and all that, just to piece together to go, wait, we're going in the right track. Mm-hmm. I'm not just wiping away, everything we've ever seen to go along with that. Yeah, I know the list is about now and last year and everything like that. I take into account all of it to a degree, and especially now gets the advantage. But, yeah, I just, when I came back from it, and I think really what got me was when I got into whatever it was, not long after the draft was over, and I started breaking these guys down a little bit, that, okay, there was a few careless decisions here and there, but like when I watched his game, I couldn't come away from games and going, man, Sam Darnold was really he was bad.
Yeah.
He missed this open guy. He made a bad read here. I mean, I would go through games and go, well, here, there's 20 passes so far. Yeah, he's 11 for 20, but I didn't see on the nine incompletions where I was like, man, that was bad, or man, he's leaving a lot of plays on the field. I went, man, I wish the protection was better. Man, that's a stupid basic play.
Had he stayed with the Jets, do you think he'd be at 19?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would. Yeah,
it says a lot about him.
I'm not going to let that all take away from the player.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. So he answered questions for me last year. He did. And then, of course, he had some guys that were in front of him that didn't do as well, that fell behind him. And I expect, his game to go at an upward trend anyways.
He's a real candidate to move up or down.
He is. That's why he's the scary one. That's why he is. I'm betting on everybody's going to see the talent now that he's got a little talent around him.
At DCizzo has a problem here with the rankings. And he thinks he's cited. Why do you have the more athletic Taysom Hill over Jameis Winston, but then the less athletic Mac Jones over Trey Lance and Justin Fields?
Well, I feel like, again, yes, it's a great question. It's not about, I don't look at it and just go, well, this guy's athletic, let me give him the ranking.
Right.
I'm taking it all into it. Taysom Hill can still do a ton of the drop back quarterback stuff and be really awesome. He threw for 72%, dropping back to pass. He can do all of that stuff. Like the Trey Lance and Justin Fields, I have real questions about that aspect of their game, as you know.
Yeah.
So that's why. With Mac Jones, I know he's not a great athlete, but I knew he was NFL ready and can read coverages and throw all the appropriate balls and be awesome that way within the pocket. So I don't ever boil this. If it's really close and you got two quarterbacks where I go, okay, man, it's check box, check box, check box, check box. And then I might get into, okay, now wait, who's more athletic? Like, this is a tie. Who's more athletic, who can make things off schedule more? Then that's where I go with that guy. But I don't just go, oh, the more athletic guy wins this competition all the time. No.
Let's keep with the rookie theme here. Number 38 on your list was Trey Lance. At Asa Mitchell says, and stick with me here, it's kind of a long question. I'm a little confused. You now say that Trey Lance's running ability, that you like his running ability because you've criticized it before, and I agreed. Have you changed your mind, or do you mean compared to your average quarterback? To me, his run success was mostly due to the subpar FCS competition, big fish, small pond.
Yeah, I didn't. It's a good question, and maybe I confused. I've always liked his running ability. Mm-hmm. I think it's overrated, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah. I'd like to see it, because what he said.
Because of the competition he was against?
Yes, exactly right. I do. I got to say the competition was less than.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing linebackers that are me.
Right.
Sorry, and that me's not that impressive at linebacker.
Right.
So, I felt like it was overblown during the draft process. He's certainly athletic and can be, a really dangerous runner running the football, and especially with Shanahan's schematics behind it and all of that. But, mean, people at first were trying to like make him like he was Lamar Jackson. That's probably where I got wrong, or I got this guy thinking the wrong thing, where I was going, wait, everybody pump the brakes. He's not Lamar Jackson here. I mean, Lamar Jackson was doing it against Florida State with Jalen Ramsey and Derwin James, and they were chasing him and they couldn't tackle him. Sorry, I haven't seen that from Trey Lance. So, yes, I think he's going to be a good runner. I'm just saying let's pump the brakes on calling him Lamar or Michael Vick quite yet.
A rookie who didn't show up on your list, Davis Mills. This question from Abraham Akui. Why are you so low on Davis Mills? Why is he just a career backup? I've seen some compare him to Andrew Luck.
I don't know. Andrew Luck had talent that popped off the screen. Mm-hmm. Davis Mills does not have that type of talent. So that's an insane comment from anybody to make. I don't mean to be disrespectful to Davis Mills, but like, come on. Andrew Luck was like slam dunk #1 pick of the draft. Nobody doubted it. There was no questions in his game. Mm-hmm. He's built like a Greek god. He runs 4.5. Oh, and he can throw the ball 80 yards. None of which Davis Mills can do.
Comparisons only because they wore the same jersey
exactly.
in college.
Like, come on. That's insane. Or why? Because they're smart? Like, oh, they're smart. He's just like Andrew Luck. He's smart, except for the other 10 things you need. So Davis Mills, yeah, sorry. I see smart guy, knows how to play the quarterback position, good athlete, nothing special, but I don't see any game-changing talent, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying.
And if the 32 teams did, they would have drafted him before he got picked.
I would say,
was it round 3?
Round 3, right.
Round 3.
Right. And the team that drafted him wanted Kellen Mond.
Yeah.
We already know that. The Texans were on the phone with Kellen Mond. Minnesota picked him. They had to then go to Davis Mills. Mm-hmm. So, but again, Davis Mills, and he could probably be a starting quarterback. I don't deny that. But I don't think he ever has the potential to be a top 15 quarterback in football. Maybe I'm wrong. And if I am, I'll say it.
Pete has slotted this into a good spot here in the show. Let's look at the offensive Rookie of the Year quarterback odds provided by PointsBets. No surprise at the top, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields.
Ooh.
Only quarterbacks. We need to point that out. Only quarterbacks.
Good at the top. Wrong second. Wrong third.
Trey Lance is third. Look
right
at this.
Fourth.
It's almost like somebody made this list just for our show, Chris.
I mean, hey, listen, I understand the Trevor thing. Justin Fields and I'm interested in the Justin Fields and Trey Lance thing.
So if you're just listening, it's Trevor Lawrence, most likely quarterback to be named Rookie of the Year. Fields second, Lance third, then Wilson Jones, Davis Mills, and Kyle Trask.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, Lance, he starts with 49ers. That team, that could be a real possibility. Right. Real possibility. And you know me, I wouldn't sleep on Zach Wilson. Here's one thing that's jumped out to me, all right?
Yeah.
And again, maybe we could dive into this. Maybe people could tell me I'm wrong. I know I'm not reading everything in the news from every city and all of this. But I am a little into the chatter this time of the year. Trevor Lawrence, there hasn't been much about because he's injured. He can't quite go. I'm not worried about Trevor Lawrence. No, he's going to be a stud. No doubt about it. I can't sit here and tell you that from what I've reading between the lines, it doesn't sound to me like Justin Fields or Trey Lance are blowing anybody out of the water in either one of those cities. Just from what I'm reading, and again, my experience of reading everything in football for a long, long time and being around it. I'm just interested because there's a lot more than on Zach Wilson. There is real chatter. He is opening eyes daily,
and we're close to it, so you can I
can hear it more.
Yeah.
And but like I've heard it from people who are not here outside of league circles. Like, oh man, hey, people in the Jets are telling me Zach Wilson is just every day. It's unreal. But like Dad came on here a few weeks ago. He works at a gym with a few Jets players. Yeah. It's all they talk about. Comments I hear out of San Francisco sometimes are like, when Trey Lance makes a mistake, he doesn't make it again, right? I didn't hear that one fucking time with Zach Wilson. I just heard awesome throw, awesome play, blah, blah, blah. With Justin Fields, I'm working on my mechanics after I didn't hear that one time with Zach Wilson either. I mean, there's something there to be said about that. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that's where my mind goes. And as I read into things a little bit, I think sometimes it doesn't. I heard the same stuff last year. I said this with Tua and Justin Herbert. I went, man, you hear like people kind of raving about Herbert. Tua, you just hear like average
Yeah.
stuff, and just there wasn't like hype around
Sure.
it. Hey, he's good. He's getting better. He's working.
It could mean something.
It could mean, yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know, but it's
Yeah.
just something that certainly
It's
popped on
June.
my radar.
It's June.
Yes, it's June.
Right? I mean,
right. That's what you do. You
in
read
August,
into things.
We'll have actual, they're in pads, they're practicing.
Right.
But at this time of year, exactly.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
Yeah.
You ready for some Cam Newton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
He's been a
Oh, I know.
yeah.
It's
Spark
amazing.
plug for conversation.
Well,
here.
as you know, I lived in Boston for 3 years, and even my friends up there,
Yeah.
it's like split down the middle. Some of them were, yes, he's back. I believe in him. The other ones are like, oh my gosh, he's the worst quarterback in football. How are we bringing him back?
Yeah. Well,
Is that where we're going here?
I haven't read it yet. I'm going to read it
Okay.
live with you here. This is from @Dillyhan. He says, "Hey, I'm a Sims and Lefko day one 33%er. I need an explanation on 33%.
Well, it was like 33. We divided it up at the time. It was like the fans, Lefko, and me. Like I had 30%, 33%.
Yeah.
Lefko was 33%, and then the fans were the other 33%.
Okay.
Yes.
So Dillyhan wants to give a shout out to that.
What up?
Biggest listener in British Columbia. What is Cam Newton's ceiling on the Sims 2022 top 40 quarterback ranking?
Ooh, well, that's a really good question. His ceiling, I would say that his top 5 quarterback days are over.
Yeah.
Do I still think he could be in the top 10? It's close, right? It's that like maybe if he had a phenomenal year and proved some of the questions we all have about him and things like that, and just passed it with like extraordinary.
If I said 90% likely that he will not ever be in the top 10 again, would you talk me out of that? 90% too high?
No, I think you're around there. I think like, hey, listen, it's an extraordinary year. He can get right there to maybe 9 or 10, maybe. But you're right. I think it's an extraordinary year.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's in him anymore at this point. And the big thing is not about being in him.
Yeah.
It's just them. The f***ing top 12 or 13 are super talented.
Yeah.
And other than Brady, other than Brady and Rodgers, out of like the top 13, are all in the primes of their careers.
And you have 6 rookies on
yeah,
this list
right.
too. So I mean,
who are coming?
let's say half of those play pretty well.
Yes.
They're probably going to be ahead of them too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Oh, and then, you get into the other people that are questionable as well, like Joe Burrow coming back, Sam Darnold that we
just
talked
talked
about.
about
How
Darnold,
do they
yeah.
play? All that type of stuff. So I think really probably the ceiling is about 10, I guess, in my heart of hearts. The absolute
it's still
unbelievable.
pretty high.
It's high, right.
Yeah.
It's really, I think realistically, really good year. Everything like that. He's, somewhere one of those guys that's in 13, 14, 15, something like that.
He was number 6 back in 2018. That was the first time you did this list.
Yeah.
Back with Bleacher Report.
Right.
And your question, can he get back into the top 10? We just talked about that a little
Yeah.
bit too. So, all right, throwback. You want to do a little throwback?
Yeah.
2006 Sims Fantasy Files.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's see where Pete's going here. This is from
I know where he's going.
Justin Bigler 78. Love
Yeah.
the podcast. Next one you have break down this for us. Let's take a look at whatever this is.
I was made to do this. Check this out. Bam. Automatic. I can hit moving targets too. 3 for 3.
Show him the crossbar, kid.
Pick me, man. Pick me.
Boom.
That's so doctored.
Boom.
That's so fixed. How many
Boom.
times? How many times do you have to do that?
All right, so here, in full transparency, right here. All right, goalpost. It's all CGI, all of it. It's all CGI. I did it for real though. Like I did that. I bet you I threw the ball at the goalpost 20 times.
Yeah.
I bet you I hit it 17.
85%.
Goalpost. I'm a f***ing machine. That's what I do with people. I play that game. That's
Yeah.
what I do. I mean, I played it with Josh Allen. He beat me. Okay, yeah, a little more
How many?
practice.
How many?
I think we took like 2 shots. He hit it on the second,
Yeah.
and on the second one I missed by like.
He's the most gifted quarterback of all
Well,
time.
he's pretty damn good. He is. So all right. So full transparency, goal posting. I hit it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Moving target, I hit or was all over it. Hit the garbage can, made it in a few times. I think I hit the driver once, who was the groundskeeper for our team there. Awesome guy. I'm blanking on his name. I never hit the stationary garbage.
Never did it.
I think I threw 30 at those three, and I hit
it's
the
tough
lip.
to drop it in
Drop
there.
it
It's
in,
very
right.
sand wedge.
You give me a
touch kind of
moving
thing.
target or something
Yeah.
eye level that I could drive it through the target, boom,
you're
I'm going to
good.
hit it. So it was all CGI, but
Yeah.
I did make the throws for real. And it's like, so there, they asked me to do that. My
Yeah.
agent, I remember asking me to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the is fantasy football? It's just starting.
Really?
It's
In
2006.
Yeah,
it's
you're
kind of
right.
just started. I'm going,
Yeah.
what the is this? And they're like explaining it to me. I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll do the commercial. It sounds stupid, but I'll
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
You know, who am I to turn down a commercial? And
So is it a commercial that ran during games or like locally?
it was
in
like
Tampa?
it was like met up some games. I think it was more on like the .com stuff where they ran it more than anything,
also
right?
just starting back
But
then.
it was all just starting.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what was more 2006, like the shape of your number 2 was
or my
just
baggy shorts.
the baggy shorts or your Peter Brady voice.
Oh my gosh,
Man,
I
oh,
know.
man.
I know, dude. Oh, it was 25 years old right there, about to be 26. So
Just a kid.
The good old days. And the old $1 place
Yeah.
right
Trailers.
next to the runway. What people don't realize, behind me is the runway to the airport. We used to have built-in crowd noise because every time a plane got on the and all of a sudden you had to go to the silent count in the middle of practice. I mean, it was unbelievable.
So in 2006, were you at the same place when the Buccaneers came into the league in '76?
We were
spot?
same place. We were
Really?
just about. It was probably our last month in that spot before
Yeah.
they moved to the one they're in now, the new facility. Right, that just is amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh,
Rob
I
Julian,
think
the
it is. It is
groundskeeper.
Rob. You
Pete.
are. It is. Look at you,
Wow,
Pete.
Pete.
Man,
Well done. World class find there.
Rob's a man.
Here's a heading for you: Big Fucker versus Little Fucker. All right, from @NickSnapper. Was Chris Sims a better college quarterback than Phil Simms?
Well, yes, but not really. I mean,
I don't know if that counts.
I know.
As an official answer.
well, I mean, yeah, my attribute, I mean, my stats, wins, losses, everything like that are going to be better.
yeah.
I don't know if I could sit here and say I was actually the better talent, but my career was better in college.
How was Moorhead State in late '70s?
Not good.
Yeah. And
Not,
that was back when quarterbacks didn't complete 50% very often. They threw more picks than touchdowns, right?
yes.
So
I
it's
think they
kinda
were
hard to
2
compare.
I think he was 2-8
Really?
his senior year.
Wow.
They stunk.
Yeah.
He had nothing, and you're right. Like, Dad was telling me the other day, this is just how the NFL has changed.
Yeah.
Because I get this sometimes. I was actually telling Dad this because the number one thing we had a conversation about my dad in the Hall of Fame a little yesterday on PFT. And the number one thing I always get from friends or even on social media is people think my dad was a game manager because they kind of see like, oh, it was Bill Parcells and they ran the football and they did all that. Like, he really wasn't. I'm not saying my dad is John Elway or anything like that, but they were not a dink and dunk football team.
He threw for 4,000 yards when people weren't doing that.
No, right. It was like so he threw for 4,000 yards in 1984, right? I mean, at the time, it was like Dan Marino, and there was only a few people that were doing that. So they were a down the field throwing football team. And even, I think he had a 4-year run where nobody threw the ball more intended yards down the field other than
Really?
Dan Marino. He was second in football. You can't find a 5-yard touchdown pass on my dad's highlight film. There was no such thing. It was like they were run the ball, 20-yard in cut, 30-yard seam to Bavaro,
Yeah.
20-yard out route. That's all they did. There's slant route. My dad didn't throw a slant route until year 14. Like, he never threw a slant route. 3-step drop did not
No, it
exist
didn't
on the New
exist.
York Giants.
Yeah.
That was Joe Montana and all of them. They were the ones that were doing the cutting edge stuff like that. But my point was, he went into a year, and I think it was 84. He said they literally went in the year and went, listen, if we could throw for 52.6%, that was their goal.
52.6.
52.6%.
Yeah.
We're going to be a hell of a football team. And that was the goal.
Did they hit it?
They did, yeah. But, I mean, I think his career completion percentage is like 55, 56%. It's just it was a different era.
Pretty good for late 70s, mid 80s.
I mean, Joe Montana retired as the highest-rated quarterback in the history of football in quarterback rating.
Quarterback rating. I don't know the ratings as well as completion percentage.
But quarterback rating, like, at the time he
Yeah.
retired, it was 92.
Okay.
Quarterback Aaron Rodgers had 121 this year. 92. If he was at a 92 quarterback rating this year, he'd be with Jared Goff and Teddy Bridgewater.
Wow.
Around a 22 or 23.
What changed the most, you think?
Oh, everything just got, micro-analyzed even more. No interceptions. We want to complete the ball more. Quarterbacks got better. Offensive coordinators got better. The receivers got better. The schemes themselves got more creative to get easier completions and all that things. The rules got way easier on defense.
Yeah.
Or for the offense that
Yes.
made it harder on the defense.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is that. The lack of being able to kill the quarterback, and you
so
can't
underrated.
touch the receivers.
You go back and watch a game from the 80s, quarterbacks get
Destroyed. And there was no illegal...
such thing as a flag.
No, never. And there
Yeah.
was no illegal contact.
I know.
So my dad could be throwing a ball to Mark Bavaro 20 yards down the field. He hasn't thrown the ball yet. He's patting it in the pocket.
Yeah.
Darryl Green could be still punching and pushing
yeah.
Mark Bavaro. It was not a penalty back then. Yeah, good luck trying to come out of your break with that guy pushing you as you're doing it.
This is the best topic yet. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Top 10 quarterbacks you'd want to drink Woodford Reserve with.
Oh, don't ask Pete for his
sponsors.
list.
Okay, here we go. This is from Bush League Babble. If you're drinking with Tom Brady, it'll be a championship parade, so I'll pick him.
That's a great one. Eat that, Pete. That might have been the best comeback yet. That might have been the best. If you're drinking with Tom Brady, it's probably at a champion. That's a really good one.
So
Yes.
Pete has his top 10 quarterbacks he wants to drink with?
Yeah, that was his list from the other day.
You got Stafford at 3?
He had
Pete?
Stafford at 3. Stafford's a famous beer drinker. I mean, he's pretty
Really?
popular for his ability to throw him down, yes.
He's so chill. It feels like he just kind of had like 5 or 6 and like no change in personality.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean...
yeah.
He just I think Pete
Nothing wrong
likes
with
the
that,
regular down to earth guy. There's the
Yeah.
video out there of like Stafford. We showed it on the last pod. He could chug a beer in like a second.
Okay.
He can just open his throat and go goop, and
You
it
good
goes
at that?
away.
You good?
I can do it.
Yeah.
I did. I made that proclamation last time.
We should we should
a
have some
chug
kind of
contest.
challenge.
Well,
Yeah.
we could chug it tonight if
Yeah.
you want. I was planning on going vodka, so if we chug vodka, watch out. But yeah,
So there's
this
Stafford. Let's see.
is a real Texas guy here.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
he knows how to throw down a
Everything
beer.
went from half full to not full.
Yeah, in a hurry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not his first rodeo. That's
Where's
for sure.
Baker Mayfield on your list there, Pete? So Baker's at 5. So like if you wanted to have like a spring break type excursion, he's got to be number 1.
Definitely, maybe run from the cops, do that type of stuff. It'd be perfect. You never know. You'll see aliens in the air. You'll see it all with
Yeah.
Baker. It's amazing, and he'll bring you into his house. The Cleveland Stadium there, where he's that's where he lives.
Yeah.
At the commercial.
Pete, one more time, buddy. Burn Unit. Okay, we're moving on. At Burn Unit, should have put Tom Brady on this list. He clearly can't hold his liquor and would quickly become drunk enough to tell you stories beyond your imagination.
That is a really valid
sounds like a
point.
fun night.
In fact, Pete, you might have dropped the ball with that one. You're right. Yeah, so Aaron, you're out. See you, Rodgers. Pete just said he's putting Tom Brady in, so that guy made the right, appropriate point.
Yeah.
Brady's he's not going to be good drunk. It's going to be like liquid truth serum. He's all of a sudden he's going to tell you all the stories about Belichick and everything else.
I like the little acknowledgement to the crowd.
Listen, I've been drunk.
Yeah.
I've never been that drunk to where I needed somebody to. I mean, I've been really drunk before. Puke drunk.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
that,
Yeah.
I haven't been like that unless I've gotten really drunk and then smoked weed.
But
right
have you
after.
been like that? And let's see it again.
Yeah.
I mean, let's got to take the whole scene into consideration here. Off of a boat. I mean, so like your
That's
bearings aren't going to be that
definitely
good.
true. You're
So
right.
Maybe this person holding him up is worried about his sea legs more than his alcohol intake.
I mean, that could.
know.
I agree with you. He's been in the sun the whole day too.
That
Like
doesn't
that's
help.
going to help. The tipping of the boat. What I really envision happening is
Yeah.
like they all parked the boat, right?
Yeah.
And now there's no media around or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they were like, come on, let's throw some shots down, Tom. Let's do it right now. And Tom was like, nobody's around. Okay, woo, woo, woo. And then they got off the boat. And he's like, oh, fuck, I'm hammered. That's how I envision it going down. I mean, I don't know. But I haven't been drunk like that. And like,
Yeah.
I only get like that, like I said, if I drank and then I smoke weed, the world goes.
Then what happens?
The world spins in every direction, and I'm like, I'm gonna need somebody to walk next to me.
Sounds like a bad idea.
It is a bad idea. That's if I'm gonna do both.
Yeah.
Right. And Drake has a song called "Cause I'm Both." He's he's drunk and high.
Yeah.
You got to do smoke first, then drink.
Oh.
Because if you do it the other way around, you're asking to puke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that
we'll
old
see if
saying?
you learn tonight
That
at
old
the
saying,
party.
Liquor before beer, have no fear.
Liquor before beer.
Liquor, never been sicker.
Well, yeah, liquor before beer, you're in the clear.
In the clear.
Yeah. Beer before liquor, you'll never be sicker.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna see how you do tonight.
At horse owner. Not horse owner.
I like that. That's my kind of English right there.
This is a Simsy kind of thing. At horse owner.
Owner.
A bad list. It's just a bad list.
Thank
period.
you.
Gardner Minshew should be at the top of the list. I think this is for Pete's. I mean, Gardner Minshew
Pete's.
has to be.
Yeah.
He's got to be a lot of fun. Yeah, Pete. That's.
Yeah,
on you,
I mean, Minshew should replace, I think, Mac Jones or Burrow. That would probably be the guy.
I don't know how much fun those two dudes would be.
I'd throw him in there.
Right?
You know? I mean, Burrow's going to be cool.
Sneaky getting Jameis Winston in there at 4, Pete.
Wild. He wants a
Pete
fun
says
night.
guaranteed
He wants a fun
entertainment.
night.
Okay. Andrew Luck versus Carson Palmer. There's no segue from Pete's quarterbacks he wants to drink with to this, but at Jimmy Buzz, who had a better career, Andrew Luck or Carson Palmer?
Oh, well, that's a good question.
We're now getting into the random portion.
Yeah,
of
it's
the
all
list.
right. I like these. These are good, like little food for thought. I guess Carson Palmer's career is better, but just because of I don't know if the quality is better. These are the good questions where you go, okay, it's a little bit, here's longer, a little more, consistent. And then here's another guy who, man, it was really great.
Yeah.
In a few years.
You had to love Palmer before that first knee injury.
I mean, I like
just the
Carson
way he
Palmer.
threw it?
Yeah, all the way through. I mean, I'm just interested as we're sitting here, just looking at stats too, a little bit, just to see where that goes in that conversation. Ultimately, I do think Andrew Luck probably had more high quality years. Borderline MVP caliber type years. There's no way his career numbers are going to match up with Carson Palmer. I mean, Carson Palmer's at 46,000 yards, 294 touchdowns. Like you talked about early in the career, it was some really good numbers that way and everything like that. Andrew Luck was what, 6-year career? We're right around there, right? I know. I got to do the math in my head too.
I'd say it's like 7.
It's 6.
You're right.
It is 6. Yeah. I got lucky.
I think I'd rather have Luck's career. Palmer was really good for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, Luck was on a Hall of Fame track.
He was. Yeah, you take the quality over that quantity.
I think so. Both made a championship game.
Right. The Colts had no business being in the championship game that year. That was crazy that they went to
the game indicated.
They went and beat the Deflategate game. They went and beat Denver in Denver, right?
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. Andrew Luck was the better player. I'll say that. I mean, Andrew Luck, like you said, was on a Hall of Fame career. Carson Palmer was he's a legend of the NFL. All right, I'm with you. I'll go with Andrew Luck too.
Okay. Early Super Bowl is this title. At Nathan Jacobson, love the pod. Can winning a Super Bowl early in a career hurt the rest of the quarterback's career? If so, what player comes to mind? He throws out Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson.
I don't think it hurts.
I don't see a scenario how it hurts.
No, I actually think it helps more times than not because the pressure's off.
Yeah.
So now you can just go, wait, now I can play. Nobody's going to ask questions about me anymore. To me in those scenarios right there, I look at it again where I know I've talked about this. It's, the team has dropped the ball a little bit. It's just not that easy to go back and win Super Bowls.
Yeah, right.
We've all been misled by Tom Brady and the Patriots to think it's not that big of a deal.
Think about the Russell Wilson interception that cost him that game late against the Patriots. If they didn't have the Super Bowl victory, I think from the season before, think about how much more rotten that would have been for him.
That is the point.
At least he had that one.
Right. Everybody would still be riding him right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
right?
he can't win the big
Probably
game.
be riding himself.
He'd be all. You're right. That's the point. And what I would also argue against it too is to go, if you look at, let's say, the quarterbacks who won the most Super Bowls in the cup, they all won Super Bowls earlier in their career. You know, Bradshaw was what, like year 4? Joe was year 3. 79, 81,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Aikman was year 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Brady was year 3, you know? So you get into the quarterbacks that won 2 and 3 Super Bowls, you know, you win it early in the career, not only is the pressure off, but also the confidence of going, what? I can do it.
Yeah.
I can win a Super Bowl. I'm capable of being on the biggest stage in the sport and performing and being clutch and being awesome that way. So with like Rodgers, you know, my thought there is
10 years ago.
yeah.
Man.
They've failed him. It's not him failing them. You know, Brett Favre, we could probably argue a little bit of both. And he was a gunslinger and cost himself some Super Bowls.
We have a question about Brett
Right.
Favre from Jacob W. Winecoop. My good friend insists Brett Favre is not a top 10 quarterback and only brings up his interceptions and the drama when he left Green Bay. Please, for the love of everything sacred in American football, talk about this topic for me. By the way, he is a diehard Browns fan, and I'm a diehard Bills fan, so there's no rooting interest.
Okay, good. That's good. Yeah, I mean, without question, top 10 quarterback of all time.
Top 5.
I think top 5 too. I'm probably one of the only person that probably got it. 5 or 6 is sometimes how I go through it. But yeah, to Pete's being funny. Yeah.
Pete says there's 10 top 5 QBs.
Well,
Pete, there's 20 top 5 quarterbacks.
But I always come down to, you've heard me. I go Rodgers, I go Elway, I go Brady, I go Manning. And then when I get to 5, I always go Marino and Favre. That's kind of where I always am like, man, I mean, it's awesome versus awesomer. I mean,
Yeah.
they're both amazing.
Right.
But like top 10, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt. Yeah, was he a little careless with the football? Yeah. But he was also
That's what
caught.
made him Brett, too.
It is what made Brett, exactly. And he was a little bit of in that old era where it was still like, okay, you've kind of caught both eras.
Yeah.
He was kind of in the era taking over in the early 90s where it was like, we don't worry about, you got to throw for 72% and throw no interceptions. The game wasn't that way.
Right.
So he had a little of that in him.
Yep.
The game didn't start going that way to where we got into like, you know, the interception thing and everything like that until like the late 90s, early 2000s, where all of a sudden efficiency at the position became a real focal point.
Yeah.
So he is a little bit part of both eras,
Right.
but without a doubt,
And I would also say
top 10.
He had that gunslinger mentality. He had an unbelievable arm. Like watching him throw in person was phenomenal. But he was under center, 3-step drop, West Coast finesse offense. So he had
No shotgun.
He had, I want to throw it anywhere on the field. I've got an unbelievable cannon, but it was about touch, timing, balance, and finesse. So I don't know if the that scheme that Holmgren was running. I mean, he ran it well and they won a lot, but it's not like it was perfect
For him.
his ability. But
No.
yet he made it work.
No.
I think that should count for something.
I agree. You know, you're right. They're running a Joe Montana offense
Yeah.
with like a guy that's got a better skill set than Joe Montana.
Yeah.
And you're right. They probably should have been running a little bit more of the
More down the
Patrick
field.
Mahomes,
Yeah.
whatever. We're going to like take advantage of that. So, yeah, it didn't necessarily play into his strengths all the way that
Right.
way. I mean, he's just, again, that's too amazing of a football player. It really is. And he had a lot of years, too, where you'd still sit there and I'd go, well, they're in the playoffs. They're not really that good.
Right.
But it's number 4.
And the
playing.
consecutive streak thing matters a lot too.
Yeah, and I mean, scrambler, pocket passer, and like you said, you know, my dad has always said this. Elway had the strongest arm ever. Then he saw Brett Favre, and he went, I mean, he got done at the Brett Favre. It was like, I'll never see anybody throw the ball as good as Brett Favre. And then he went to see Green Bay 4 years later and Aaron Rodgers there, and he
Yeah.
went, whoa, shit. I found somebody that throws the ball as good or better than Brett Favre.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's truly one of those talents, and there's a reason he was on the NFL 100 team and picked by Bill Belichick and all
right,
of that.
exactly.
Yeah.
This is normally the point of the show where I say that's a show, but now I can say that's a season.
That's a season,
There's a
baby.
season, that's a season.
School's out for
saying that?
summer. I asked Alice Cooper. I didn't know,
Alice
though.
Cooper.
I didn't
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
asked Florio today. But here we go, baby. It's 12:30 on a Thursday.
Is that what it is?
It's 12:30 on a Thursday. It's June 24th. And Detox Retox will start officially tonight on a daily basis.
I'm going to have the governor on because I'm driving my son to practice after, kind of mid-party.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to be that version. I'm going to be that guy.
Okay. So you're going to come for a little while, and then you got to leave and take him to practice.
I got to take him. I'm going to bring him with me. I got to take him to practice.
Okay.
And then depending on time, maybe come back.
All right.
See what's
Whatever.
happening.
Well, you're not coming back, but that's cool. It's nice of you to say that and put that out there.
I
But you
mean-
got to do what you got to do. It's okay. You're a dad. You got shit to do. People don't understand that.
Yeah. I know, right?
It's hard sometimes because you're like, man, I want to do this. I'd like to go to your house or do this.
Yes.
But my kids have this and this. And
my wife's out of town.
Right,
With
it's
my
hard.
youngest, so
Hey.
it's all on me.
Don't worry. Don't
the older
worry.
guy.
We won't send you out drunk driving with your kid. I know that. That'll be a no-no.
So that's number one. Number two, this podcast comes up throughout a lot of different parts of the work cycle and home cycle. No matter what else is going on, man, it's always fun to come in and talk ball with you.
Thanks.
So
man. I
it's
appreciate that.
every single time.
You're the man, Paul.
So
thanks a lot. Always good
thanks
conversations.
for making the environment that way.
And speaking of cycle,
Yeah.
good luck of your Tour de France.
Yes, it's coming up.
Yes, you got
2
it coming.
days.
Woo,
2
man.
days.
Ooh, what's
Yeah, I
our
know.
sleep schedule going to be like?
So I will have a meeting here probably about 3 or 3:30 in the morning each day. And then, and then we're on the air 6 or 7. And then you come on during the race. We come on after the race.
So you're going to have a phase of going to sleep at like 6 o'clock at night here.
Well, I'm trying to figure
how do
out
you
how
do
to
it? Yeah.
Well, I'll probably go to bed like at 8-ish.
Yeah, okay.
But
Get
then-
5 or 6 hours.
Then the Olympics come, and I'll be here from midnight till 9 in the morning.
Oh, my gosh.
So it's a summer of challenging sleep.
Wow.
That's for darn sure.
Yeah, you and Ahmed are going to be vampires.
Same thing.
Yeah, he's doing the same kind of crap. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well,
call you on the drive to
I'll
work.
talk to you guys when the Olympics is over. Okay, don't bother me until
You're
then.
not the first person who said that.
We're not on the same schedule.
See you in August.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we are still going to do some pods. I'm still going to react to news. I mean, you might see videos of me and Florio, but we're not going like dark for 5 or 6 weeks. We're going to have things out there every now and then. Yeah, I might be out of town. We might not do one. We got one on the can that we bring out, whatever, something like that. But Chris Sims Unbuttoned, not going anywhere. Paulie, you the man.
Good to
Thanks
see you
for
as
driving the
always.
ship all year.
Yep.
Appreciate it. We're going to have fun tonight. Everybody be good out there. Be safe. Love the questions. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We're looking for an awesome 2021 season. It should be great. We got lots of stud quarterbacks, lots of things to talk about in the NFL, quarterback drama. So we're here. Keep in touch through social media. Stop saying bad things or mean things. Get over it. Grow as a person. All right? Peace out. See ya.
Stop.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.